Darren, congratulations. What a win in UFC Gdansk. Can you break that fight down for us?
It's only what I visualised since my last fight. Just every day in the gym, just seeing not even cowboy fall, but just a body fall in front of me, and it happened.
And did you expect it to happen so quickly as well in round one?
A little bit, yeah. I expected like first, second round, but just because of how powerful I am right now. I'm just so powerful, and I knew as soon as he walked in the cage that I had his number. He didn't know how to take me. When the fight was booked and that, and a lot of people are saying they don't know me in cowboys, like he doesn't care. And, I never ever took disrespect or anything like that. But when people actually see me in the flesh and they see how I carry myself around, they see that it's not fake. I'm not like a fake confidence. I'm just totally believing myself. And when he walked into that cage, you could just feel it, that air of confidence from me. And I already knew I had him as soon as he walked in.
So there's a little bit of drama at the end. You called out Mike Perry. Why was it him in particular that you wanted to fight?
Well, I didn't call him out. He said that cowboy was going to beat me on Twitter, and I said that he wouldn't. And after I beat Cowboy, I was in my mind going to call Mike Perry out, but he got the fight booked with Santiago, who I want to fight as well. So I don't really care about him now. The fight can happen if he beats Santiago, which I don't think he will do, and then we can get it on. But right now, he's got a fight book, so I don't really care.
And if obviously that fight is next for you after that one with Santiago, can we expect to see UFC coming to Liverpool for a main event?
Well, it has to now, doesn't it? They've never been. They had the opportunity to, go. When my team Carbon, was flying the radar for Europe years ago, Terry Etten, Paul Kelly, Paul Sass, all them guys, and they nearly came. And now, I'm one of the few guys in Liverpool and Britain, flying the flag, and they've never been to Liverpool. And you've just seen how many guys from Liverpool were there. So can you imagine if they go to my hometown? So yeah, it definitely needs to happen now.
Darren, up here. Congratulations on the win. We've seen Michael Bisping's gone on and won a world championship. When we spoke to you for the very first time over in Dublin, you told us you were going to be the next British UFC world champion. You're one step towards that. How much is someone like Michael Bisping an inspiration to you as you go on your journey towards the top of the sport?
Well, I said I was going to be the first, and he beat me to it, so that's a sore thing, Michael, come on. But no one inspires me. No one's my hero. I don't look up to anyone. I inspire myself, and it might sound like arrogant or something, but I just don't look up to anyone. I never have, and I never will. If there's one guy I could say, it's probably my teammate Terry Etten. I've looked up to him ever since I was a kid, ever since I seen him train him. But I just respect Michael. What he's done, what he's doing, how tough he is. Everything he's done in the sport, is. You have to take your hat off to a guy like him, but he doesn't inspire me. No one does. That's not an arrogant way or anything. It's just no one inspires me.
And the talk of potentially the UFC coming to Liverpool. Liverpool is a very special sporting city. For those who perhaps don't quite have that grasp of that, explain just what a UFC event would be like if they did something at somewhere like the Echo Arena in Liverpool.
I never forget Dana saying about Dublin, the way he said there was never an atmosphere like it. And I fought in Dublin. Dublin's a crazy place, the fans are crazy for it. I think the Echo could really top that. I think Liverpool could definitely top it. When they get behind one of their own, they really get behind one of their own. You've seen them all then, they're going nuts, and this is Poland, Liverpool would just be insane. We've got the stadium there. I think it holds like 15,000, so the UFC needs to come to Liverpool. It's such a sporting city, MMA is coming now. You've got so many fighters, so many MMA fighters from Liverpool coming up. But if you just look at boxing, we've ruled for years in Britain. We're such a fighting city, and it needs to happen. I keep saying it, And
last one from me. You're currently competing at welterweight. You're still quite young in the sport. How long do you think you can compete at 170 before maybe you have to start considering the potential move up to 185?
Everyone knows I fought this year, after a long layoff in Sweden, and everyone knows I didn't make weight in Sweden, and I said it would be the first and last time it had happened, and it was. I've made championship weight twice now, and people always go on how big I am for the weight, and I really am big, and I'm not one to say it's ever an easy weight cut, because fighters say, oh yeah, this is my easiest weight cut, and they're just lying. Weight cutting's not easy. But this week, you know, I usually get prepared for a long sauna session and, you know, getting the last pounds off, and it's always a struggle. This week, you know, I started my weight cut on Thursday about 6 o'clock, and I was on weight by 9. You know, you see me having a glass of Coke, you know, so I've never done that in my life, and I haven't had 15 MMA fights. I've had a ton of Muay Thai fights. I've boxed, you know, I've never been able to do that. So right now, I'm strong at welterweight, but I definitely know I'm going to have to go up to middleweight and bust a few guys up there, so we'll see.
Just quickly, Darren, you've obviously got a big fight on the horizon next, whoever it may be. What schedule works for you? I mean, do you want to try to squeeze one more in this year, or do you think maybe, you know, shut it down, enjoy the holidays, and pick it back up next year? What's the right plan for you?
I would, but you know, you have your team around you, and they advise you best. And when you believe in your team and you trust your team, you listen to them. You know, I'd fight every week if I could, and I have. When I was a kid, when I was 16, 17, fighting professionally, I used to fight every 2 weeks. But right now it's different. You have to be smart, and you know, my manager Marcelo, he said he doesn't want me to fight again this year. He said he wants me to just, you know, have a month off, because I've had a 2-year layoff and I've come back and I've just stormed the UFC again. This, you know, beat 2 top European prospects, and then I've just took out one of the all-time greats, Cowboy. So, you know, maybe I'm going to have a month off. You know, I've been working relentlessly in the gym, so I'm going to have a month off. You know, get bladdered a few times, and we'll see what, you know, the new year brings. But if a fight gets booked, you know, if the UFC say right now we agree to fight in December, I think I'll beg me coaches and my manager to take it. So, you know.
Darren, down in front here.
Right, Darren.
Oh, hello.
You know, we're only a few, I guess, minutes after the fight, but obviously there's a lot of people saying on social media, you're now the new big thing, I guess. And how do you feel you're going to be able to handle that pressure now? You've got endless media and endless people telling you you're the best.
I said in the promo, you know, don't ever doubt me. I said, do not doubt a guy like me. And, you know, now people are saying, whatever, I'm the new big thing, and how do you deal with pressure? And I always say the same things over and over again. Like, if I could never deal with main event pressure or the media pressure, what will come, I wouldn't be fighting. I would walk out this room right now and I wouldn't fight again. I can deal with it all. It's what comes with it, you know. I'll never forget watching a promo for Ronda Rousey, and she done every media obligation. She still got a training, and she still got a food, and she still went and fought and beat Beth in Brazil. And that's what champions are made of. You know what I mean? And I know I'm a great, and I know I'm a champion. So, you know, anything that comes my way, I'll be able to deal with it. And people say I'm only young, I'm only a kid, but they don't know the roller coaster ride I've had in my life. And I'm not going to sit here and cry, but I know I can deal with anything that comes my way. And, you know, with regards to fighting, no one's going to get in my way to where I want to go.
You just said then you're going to be you're going to be a champion. Do you kind of map that out, I guess? Do you know how many more fights it would take for you to get a title shot? Is that something you think about?
Well, yeah, I think about it, but, you know, I've just had a question before, like, you know, do you think you're next in line for a title shot? And I'll say it again, I don't believe that I've earned that right. I would never disrespect the champion. I will beat the champion, I know I will, but I would never sit here just because I've beat Cowboy and say, yeah, I'm ready for a title shot. There's so many more guys in front of me. There's, you know, they need the shot first, and then when I get my shot, I'll just take the champion out, and I know I will. But I'm certainly closer, and I certainly do plan, you know, 1 fight, 2 fight ahead. You know, I'll ask for that title shot as soon as I take another 2 guys out. But for now, I just want to relax for like a month and see what the UFC offer me. And whatever they offer me, I'll take. I don't care.
Last question. Did you exchange words with Donald after the fight? Obviously, it was a very friendly build-up. You had a lot of respect for each other before, but did you exchange words after?
Yeah, he come up to me, you know, and he was just, you know, he congratulated me, and I thanked him for the opportunity. You know, when we were building this fight up, and, you know, you get certain fighters and certain people, they try to trash talk, and it comes off as very fake. When I say things, I'm not trash talking, I'm just speaking my mind and what I believe and what I think. And, you know, I've been a fan of Cowboy since I've watched him in WEC. You know, I respect the guy, and let's make no mistake about this, he gave me the opportunity. He could have said no to fighting Darren Till. He could have, and nothing would have changed, but he said yeah. So I have the utmost respect for a guy like Cowboy Cerrone, who will fight anyone, anytime, any place. And for him to fight a guy like me, I'm 24, I'm hungry, I believe I can beat anyone on this earth. That man's got balls, so I respect him so much.
Darren, Hugh?
Hello.
Please describe Polish crowd, Polish people, because I think the atmosphere at the arena today was amazing.
Crazy, yeah. I didn't know how to take it. Like, I don't know. They were just shouting. I don't think they were shouting for anyone. They were just shouting. They were. I mean, they were cheering for me, cheering for Cowboy. They were cheering for the referee. I just don't know. They were crazy crowd. Like, I don't know if it's just Gdansk or Poland itself. I heard a lot about how the fans are, but this is a place that the UFC needs to frequent more, because that atmosphere was. I've fought 3 times this year, and that was the best atmosphere this year.
So Poland can be proud of the crowd that we have.
1,000,000%, of course. Yeah, fucking, you're crazy.
So, Arkadiusz Pawłowski, Sporty Walki.org. Darren, you, as you said, you convincingly beat one of the best guys in the welterweight division. You've shown us all what you're made of. You have been confident from the beginning, but what is your biggest strength, like in the octagon and outside of it?
In the octagon, I believe I'm the most intelligent fighter. I don't believe it's the strongest or the best black belt on the ground or the best striker. I believe I'm the most intelligent. I believe I control everything so well. Cowboy was throwing push kicks, and people see me get low kicked in my last fight and they took that as a weakness. I was letting Boyan low kick me in my last fight. I was drawing him in to what I wanted. And people always say, well, how are you going to deal with this pace? They said at my last fight, how are you going to deal with Boyan's pace? How are you going to deal with Cowboy's pace? They have to worry about dealing about my pace. I bring them into my world, and my world is different. When you're in my world, it's my rules, and that's what I do with every fight. And outside of it, I'm just normal. I'm just normal. I'm fucking crazy. I'm crazy, But I've just, ever since I was a kid, when I found fighting, I tried to do 9 to 5 jobs with my dad and my uncle, and I just fighting. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to fight, and right now it's all paying off.
That's a great example for the kids, by the way. Okay.
Stay in school, kids. Don't listen to me. I'm crazy.
Yeah, and about Thursday, when you had the face-off with Cowboy, he was. We didn't know what he was talking about, but he was telling you something during the face-off, and he told me that he was telling you to lighten up, kid. Lighten up. Don't be so tense.
He was giving me pointers. He was telling me how main events work. I have to listen to a guy like him. He knows what he's talking about, and I wasn't trying to intimidate him or nothing. Just coming in with my normal traditional face-off. I put my hands behind my back, and he's saying, loosen up, and I'm like, okay, Cowboy, if you say so. But every fighter in this world I respect, so.
So that wasn't you being arrogant or disrespectful. That was you just being you, being focused.
One thing with me is I'm not arrogant. I'm not cocky. I don't think I'm better than anyone in this world. I am just confident in me. Yous all aren't going to believe in me if I don't. No one, my mum, my coach, I need to believe in myself, so I do 100%, and I don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks, if they think I'm being arrogant or what. It's definitely not arrogance, it's just my confidence. It's just, that's who I am. I'm not fake, I'm not anything. I'm just very, very confident.
Darren, can you explain for us just how valuable the time you spent down in Brazil was for your career and your growth as a fighter, and also how important it was for you to come back home and train out of Liverpool again?
If I say there was anything in my life that changed it, it was the whole process. I think everybody now ever knows the story that I got stabbed and I was nearly on death's door in Liverpool, and my coach Colin Heron decided to send me off to Brazil, and I got there and there was a 6-month plan. Not many people know this, but I'll never forget it. There was a date to come back to Liverpool. It was July 2013. I think it was the 13th of July 2013 to come back to England after being 6 months in Brazil. Like, that was 6 months was going to change me in Brazil, and I ended up going out there, and as I've just said, I'm crazy. I got a girl pregnant, and she's like, well, what are you doing? Are you going to stay or go? And I'm like, well, I've got to fucking stay now, haven't I? So so let's make a life in Brazil, and that's what I did. I adapted. I didn't speak any Portuguese, and I'll never forget going into supermarkets and not being able to say a word, and the girls are all like laughing at me because I didn't speak the language, and I thought, oh, well, I'm going to learn Portuguese now, and I'm just going to set myself up out here, and I know that I'll get to the UFC doing that. And everything I've said and done, everything I've said in my mind I've done, and it's all coming true. And you know, it only comes true when you work hard and believe in shit like that.
And what about coming home? Are you now back at home for good now, or are you going back to Brazil again eventually?
Well, yeah, I've been back in Liverpool this whole year. You know, I felt like I needed to come back to you know, see Colin, and in my opinion, Colin's one of the best coaches in the world, and I wanted to really just get back and focus on striking and certain training things with Colin. I didn't come back for family or anything. I didn't, you know, you get certain fighters. You know, I always overhear them talking about how much they're missing the family after a month, and I think, mate, you need to shut up. I haven't seen my daughter for over a year, you know, and I'm dealing with that in my way. You know, I'm not sitting here crying, but you know, I haven't seen my own daughter face to face in 1 year. She's only 3, but I know what I'm doing is bigger than me and bigger than her. It's all for me and it's all for her, and you know, everyone that supports me. And right now, I'm just gonna live in Liverpool, go back to Brazil every time I can, and just keep it like that. Just keep it simple.
Darren? Here.
Hello.
Hey, congrats on your win.
Thank you.
So your previous fight was not a very long time ago because you fought Boyan in Rotterdam. It was in September, and it went full distance, and it was a striking war. So you didn't have much time to recover, and did you have like any doubts or maybe hesitate that whether to take this fight with Cerrone or?
I don't doubt ever. The UFC, I could come out this door now and they could say, Tyron Woodley is ready to fight next week. Would you fight him? And I wouldn't doubt that I'd go in there and beat him. I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I just don't doubt myself in anything I do. I just don't doubt myself. And, you know, it was a short time, and I'll never forget Sean saying, well, you should fight Cowboy. Would you do that? And I said, yeah. And then my manager said, but wait, we need to speak. And I said, well, I want to fight him. And, you know, you could say 7 weeks was a short time, but to me, no, I'm not going to let an opportunity like that surpass me, and I didn't. And you know, look what's happened now. You know, every motherfucker who doubted me is now saying I'm the new superstar. So
yeah, for real, there's gonna be a big hype. So prepare.
yeah, the hype's not real though. People need to believe. With me, with anyone, it's not about hype. It's about belief.
Yeah, but people are finding out that there's someone like you,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
So again, I would like to swing back to this comparison with the previous fight with Boyan.
Yeah.
So it went full distance. It was a striking war.
Yeah.
And now first round, so TKO, and I know that we shouldn't compare fights like that, but it looks like Boyan was a bigger challenge for you than Cowboy. What can you say about that?
No.
Can you compare them?
Yeah,
anyhow?
I can compare it. No, Boyan just didn't bring the best out of me. It was, I'm not disrespecting him, but it just wasn't hard. You just said it was a striking war, and you know, people saying, oh yeah,
like, you know, visually, because
yeah, visually,
we don't feel.
of course.
Yeah.
But you know, like I remember my coach Colin saying to me after the fight, why was you letting him low kick you? We all know you was doing it on purpose, and I was bringing him into my game, drawing him in, you know, letting him feel comfortable getting that leg kick off. And I noticed that Cowboy tried to leg kick me a few times, and if you notice the fight with Boyan and Cowboy, when Boyan leg kicked me, I lit him. When Cowboy did it tonight, I didn't lit him. I didn't let Cowboy get into that little. Every time he low kicked me, I threw the left hand if it landed or what. But no, Boyan wasn't a stronger competitor. I don't believe he brought the best out in me, and that's no disrespect to him, but I was, you know, too relaxed, having too much fun. Tonight, I wasn't here for fun with Cowboy. Cowboy's Cowboy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you're very confident, obviously, and if you look at the division and you look at the other fighters in your division, who do you think that will give you the hardest fight of all of them?
A guy that can bring me out my pace, a guy who can just come in, doesn't give a fuck about what I do, and just drives me to the fence, tries to throw me on my back and just beat the shit out of me. You know, I mean, I hope they're not watching now because they're all going to do it. Shit, what have I said?
Do you have a name in mind?
Sorry?
Do you have a name in mind?
I think really the hardest person in the welterweight division is Damian Maia. I do. It's just, we've seen time and time again, you think, oh yeah, I can. It's mad being in that world of like the ground. I always think about with my coach, Marcelo Brigadier, when he'd call me to roll and I'd be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They just bring you into this crazy world of false insecurity and they just fucking strangle the life out of you when they're ready. And Damien does that. Damien doesn't come in to punch or whatever. He thought he was a striker a few years ago, and now he's gone back to what he knows, and he is, to me, I think he's the biggest challenge for anyone. I know Corby's fighting him now, and Corby's a relentless wrestler, but I believe that Damien's the hardest fight in the welterweight division.